I'm Cookie Stoner, and welcome to Cookie Stoner Presents, and I'm here with Dr. Bill Cooke, meteoroid specialist with NASA, talking about the solar eclipse. And you know what? You're great, because I just was like, let's talk about this a little bit more. What else do we need to talk about? Well, the most important thing, if we're in the path of totality, what do we expect? You just tell us.
So if you mosey north into Tennessee and get in the path of totality, a total solar eclipse is unlike anything you've ever experienced. And you understand why our ancestors were scared by them. So imagine if you're in the path of totality around 1:30. So you're up in
And you didn't know
Nashville,
it was coming, right?
Right, 1:30. But even if you know it's coming, let's say you're on top of a hill near Nashville, right? So what'll happen as the eclipse time gets closer, as the time of totality gets closer, you'll see more and more of the sun covered up. And then, right before the eclipse, if you look off in the distance to the west, you'll see the moon's shadow coming at you at Mach 2, 1,500 miles per hour. And that shadow will cover you, and you'll look up at the sun, and it'll look like a black hole. There'll be no sun in this white corona. And there is nothing more eerie and scary than seeing it get twilight, the sun disappearing in the middle of the day.
Middle of the day.
And it scares the heck out of you. The animals immediately go into their twilight behavior. So like birds will settle down in the evening, roosters will crow, horses will run crazily around, ants will go back to their ant hills, you know, because they'll think it's twilight. And if you look up at the sky, it'll be this deep twilight, and there'll be the planets and the brighter stars. It won't be totally dark, it'll be like twilight. But it will be so weird. It will be the creepiest twilight you've ever experienced in your life. I felt this back in 1979, right? I was at the last eclipse in the lower 48 states, okay? And I have waited since 1979 for this eclipse
to happen. So you have been, this is something.
I have done this.
You have done this before, and in your lifetime. So should we say the word astronomical when you hear that true astronomical event?
It is the most awesome astronomical event you'll experience. I'll use the word awesome.
Awesome.
There's nothing like it.
Okay, now you said the last one that was a total was in 1918, correct?
Well, no, that's the last one that cut across the entire country.
Okay, it was 1918 that cut across the entire country like this one is. Okay, when should we expect this again? Or, I mean, when should our...
It turns out that this one will be the best one for residents in the Southeast for a long time. But if you live in Texas or in the Northeast, there will be an eclipse in April of 2024, in 7 years, that will cut across the state of Texas and go up towards the Northeast to Massachusetts and stuff. And that will be great for the Yankees up north.
For those folks up north, okay. But we could get our car and go if we wanted to, right?
You could.
Well, if we wanted to go up north, but we'll just leave that at there, right?
So if we're clouded out, you know, you can all rest content that you'll have another shot in 7 years.
Another shot, and so as you said, it is something to behold.
But it won't cut across the entire country. It'll start
only
in Texas.
From you said Texas
up to the northeast.
To the northeast. But as you said, it's just an eerie feeling.
It's creepy.
Creepy. So
you can understand why the ancients were scared. When I experienced that eclipse in 1979,
I'm scared now just thinking about what to do.
When I experienced that eclipse in 1979, I understand why the Chinese executed astronomers that failed to predict them. Because it's like, holy crap, where did the sun go?
Where did it go?
Yeah.
And we should have known these things. Okay, there was a few other things I do want to ask you about. When you are studying this and you know, this is obviously what you study, but this is truly your passion, isn't it?
Meteors are my passion.
Okay, we want to make sure we know. That's why you're a meteor.
My work is meteors. I love meteors, but I'll tell you, eclipses are fun.
Okay, so this is like fun.
This is like an astronomy thrill ride. So it's the biggest thrill in astronomy you'll get. Okay.
So now, I will tell you this. I have heard all about. That's all you hear if you look online or you're on social media. Everyone's talking about, you know, August 21st. This, you know, the solar eclipse. Where are you going to be? And you know, I'm like, okay, but when you start talking about it, you really don't want to miss out. And that's why I was like, I went and actually, I think, bought the last of the glasses.
Oh, those are getting hard to find.
I know they're really getting hard to find, but I did buy a bunch of extra. I sent some to my daughter in Atlanta. So I said, you know, and of course, now there are sites. Does NASA have any sites where you can go to find what percentage you're going to see?
There are going to be eclipse festivals all around the country. I think there'll be one here.
And
there are talks. They're going to be all over the country, all along that eclipse path. You know, in Nashville, in White House, Tennessee.
White House,
sorry.
right.
In Clarksville, in Hopkinsville, Kentucky, there will be eclipse festivals everywhere.
Well, you did say, and I'm glad actually, Josh Vick, right? Here, I think that's it, yeah, just Joseph Vick, right? Joseph Vick, I'm sorry, Josh. Joseph just brought this to us about what is going on here the day, actually what's coming on. Well, we've got several different things, right?
Well, yeah, there are a bunch of NASA astronomers before the eclipse day will be speaking, and there's this long-winded guy named Bill Cooke.
I was going to say, I
Thursday.
think by the time this one actually, that's actually next Thursday, so we'll actually be on, this segment will be on the air.
Yeah.
So we do want everyone to know that August 17th from 5:30 to 6 p.m., Dr. Bill Cooke, astronomer, Meteoroid Environmental Office, and Mitzi Adams, solar scientist. Oh, I love to say this. Heliophysics, right?
And Mitzi.
Planetary science branch. See, I like to just say it because I don't understand it, but I sure know how to say it, right?
Well, NASA's good with big words.
Yeah, they're
right?
really great. So here, is that going to be here at the Space and Rocket Center?
Yes, it'll be in the National Geographic Theater.
And this is
downstairs.
free and open to the public, right?
Yeah, as far as I know.
So we want everyone to know that you can come and you'll hear about that. What will you be talking about that night?
I will be talking about the eclipse, of course, but
eclipse.
the history of eclipses and what you can expect in the future with eclipses.
Okay, so what we expect, so there are several activities also going on the day of the eclipse here at the Space and Rocket Center, and we'll tell everyone that they can probably go to the Space and Rocket Center's website, and there's going to be, like you said, there's going to be entire festivals here, even here in Huntsville, Alabama. What will you be doing? Tell me where you're going to be that day.
I'm going to see the eclipse. So the big thing with the eclipse is the weather, right? And to put it frankly, the weather around here in the end of August sucks.
That's right,
okay?
it does.
So I got 3 sites picked out, 2 in Tennessee and 1 in Missouri. And I'll get a weather report on Friday before the eclipse.
And you'll just get
and
ready
I'll
to
decide
go.
where to go from there.
So, but I know you can't tell anyone your sources, but maybe when you're finished, maybe you'll tell me mine, and I might just go in a little convoy with him up there. So, well, can you think of anything else we need to know about this solar eclipse? Besides, we know how to prepare for it. We know that it's August 21st on that Monday around 1:30 here in Huntsville, Alabama. But for anyone else, and we do have viewers who watch in other areas, so wherever you are, they can just go.
Yeah, they can Google Eclipse 2017 and it'll show them the path of totality and they can figure out where their closest point. The thing to remember is, in that path of totality, there's several million people that live there. And remember, the entire country is within a day's drive of that path of totality.
So there's going to be a lot of people.
There's going to be a lot of traffic, so don't expect, if you're in Huntsville and you want to go north to Nashville, don't expect to wake up on Monday morning and be able to get to Nashville in time for totality.
I have actually heard that they're actually warning people because that's exactly what people think. Oh, we'll just hit the road. It's a couple of hours up the road.
You need to get in place beforehand. So have a plan, okay?
So what do you, and of course I know obviously I've heard also about, hotels skyrocketing and all that. So, they can just pretend like they're going to some other, festival, I guess, up there.
Yeah, it's hard to find a hotel room now. They're pretty much all sold out. The campgrounds, even the campgrounds are sold out now.
Well, I bet they are.
So it's going to be interesting to see, because back in 1918, the last time an eclipse passed across the U.S., not many people had cars.
No, they didn't. And they probably just stayed exactly where they were, right?
Yeah, so think about that.
What did they do if they didn't have the gold? What did they do without glasses?
This is the first solar eclipse they're going to cut across our country. Well, it was mainly a scientist thing, right?
Right.
Okay, but this is the first solar eclipse since the automobile became popular that's going to cut across the country. So we have no idea what to expect.
Everything
traffic-wise.
about this is a true, as we said earlier, and I love saying it, a true astronomical event. I can also, I think, see a lot of movies coming out of this.
Oh, yes.
Not only the good part of it, but there might be some interesting, thing about people maybe getting stopped on the interstate. See, I'm already creating a movie in my mind.
So that you make a good point, though. If you do travel, be sure your car has water and snacks in it at a minimum, because you may get stuck on the road.
Yeah, because we know how those interstates are. So make sure you get your correct glasses.
Right.
get into position. They can go also on many websites. And now, does NASA? Do y'all have anything specific on yours? Let's tell
NASA
everyone,
has an Eclipse.
plug you guys.
You can just type NASA and Eclipse into Google,
It's going to come
and
up.
it'll come up with a NASA website. There's a ton of good stuff there. So, you know, NASA is doing its best to keep you guys informed.
Well, I will say this. I told you this, I've lived in North Alabama for about 19 years, and I love when I travel and I go to places and people ask me where I'm from. I'm like, North Alabama. You know where we have NASA? So we're all very proud of what you guys do. We want you to keep doing it. We know a lot of people who work there, and as I said, you've got the rep, man, and they were and you're fun. You're like fun too, so we appreciate. You're like I see why you're such a YouTube star or a video star, right? Can you help me out?
I hate myself on video.
Well, you're great. You're great. I watched you, and I watched about the constellations, so I really appreciate that. So thank you again, Dr. Cooke.
You're
Bill
welcome.
Cooke, for your time. I
You're
really
welcome.
appreciate it. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.